Hello dear students, today we are going to read and I am going to explain lesson 2 of geography, and that is of CBSE class 7th, and the name of the lesson is Inside Our Earth. So what are the important points that we are going to read in this lesson? Those are layers of earth. The very foremost thing which we are going to learn in this lesson, that is layers of earth. Next is types of rocks, and finally what are the uses of rocks. So this lesson simply deal with very simple and common terms. So let us move forward. First is crust. The earth is made up of several concentric layers with one inside another. The uppermost layer over the earth's surface is called the crust. What do you mean by layer? Have you seen onion? There are lot of layers in onion. And have you seen banana? Banana has only one layer. Similarly, orange also has only one layer, but cabbage, it has many layers. So earth also has many layers, means it has three important layers, and those layers are, the first and the topmost layer will be known as crust. It is thinnest of all. See the thickness of other layers. This is the middle layer from here to here. This is next layer from here to here. But see this crust, it is only from here to here, a small distance. So this uppermost layer is known as crust. And the next layer that is in brown portion is known as mantle. And finally the innermost layer of the earth is known as core. Okay. Now see, crust. The distance of crust on the seabed, it is only 5 kilometer. It means if we'll be able to sometime dig up to 5 kilometer, then we will reach up to mantle, right? So but it is very difficult to dig under the ocean bed. This is ocean, so first you have to dive under the ocean. Thereafter you have to take lot of tools there to dig this core crust, and when you will be successful to dig this much 5 kilometer, then you will reach to mantle. Okay, but on the continental floor the distance is 35 kilometer, because here there are very high mountain also. So we measure the height of the top portion of the mountain to lowest portion of the crust. So this distance on the continent is 35 kilometer and on the seabed is 5 kilometer. Okay, these are the distances of length of, measurement of crust. Next, see the ocean bed. This is also crust. This ocean bed crust is made up of two minerals, and those are silica and aluminium, and combinedly they are known as Sial. Si means silica, Al means aluminium. How easy to learn. And this continental crust is made up of two important minerals. They are Sima. Right? Sima is a name. Sial is also, you can say, is a name. So Sima means Si silica, Ma magnesium. Next is mantle. Just beneath the crust. So far we have read about crust. So just beneath the crust, beneath means below the crust is the mantle, which extends up to the depth of 2900 kilometer. See, this is the distance from here crust to core. This whole brown portion is known as mantle, and its length is 2900 kilometer, too much from Earth's crust, whereas it was only 35 kilometer, right? Next is core. The innermost layer is the core. It is mainly made up of Fe, right? Ni means nickel, Fe means ferrous. Ferrous is a scientific name of iron. So it is mainly made up of nickel and ferrous. The central core has very high temperature and pressure, and the length of this core is 3500 kilometers. So which layer of earth is maximum? That is core. And secondly, this core is very high temperature. It is almost 700 to 1700 is the temperature of this portion. By God, see, everything is going to burn over here. Put any number of rocks, put any solid or hard material in this, it will make them ash just within less than few seconds. So this much heat, this much temperature this core is having, and that's why when volcano erupts, this all burning material inside this core, it comes out from this small hole which are known as volcanic mountain. Similarly, it also has pressure. Pressure means because it is holding all the weight of mantle and crust. Not only crust, lot of billion of population also. See, even in India we have 135 crore of people. So all over the world there are billions of people. So this much people's weight earth is also bearing. So poor this core, he is holding a lot of pressure, and we say we have a lot of pressure of exam and syllabus. You have not more pressure than this poor core. Next is rocks and minerals. The earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks. Now, what rocks are? Any natural mass of mineral metal that makes up the earth's crust is called a rock. You have seen soil. Soil is the mixture of very small pieces of rocks. If you'll wash them in some glass or some bottle, if you'll eat them, you will also feel something bad or something sounding in your teeth, right? So that is piece of rocks. So soil is made up of pieces of rocks, and pieces of rocks are made up of when two or more than two rocks hit each other. For many years, they get crushed under the feet. They get crushed due to the pressure of heat, due to the erosion, due to the wind, and then they convert into soil. So all over the earth you will either find soil or find small pieces of rocks. So earth's crust is made up of rocks, you can say. And rock is a mineral natural mass. Natural mass means volume or weight. If you'll pick up any rock, you will feel the weight of it. Some rocks are very tiny, very light in weight. Some rocks are very heavy. You cannot hold them in your hands, right? So they have mass. Mass means weight. And secondly, they are mineral matter. Mineral means they are containing one or other mineral. Mineral like iron, mineral like coal, mineral like fossil fuels. You will come to know in science class when you will go through the science subject, then you will know what the minerals are. Now see, rocks have different colors. You can see many colors in this picture also. Some are black, red, white, orange, brown, grey color. And rocks also have different texture. What do you mean by texture? Texture is their smoothness. Some rocks are very smooth to feel. You can even roll them over your cheeks. They will make you feel very soft. But some rocks are very hard. When you will touch them, you will feel very hardened surface of them. So it means they have different texture and they have different size as well. We have talked about it: small, medium, big, huge and large. There are three major types of rocks. When you are talking about rocks, they are again mainly classified into three parts. They are igneous rock, sedimentary rock and metamorphic rocks. Let us one more time revise it: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks. Let us first talk about igneous rock. Igneous means something related to fire, आग, है ना? As the name is implying, ig means आग or fire. So when the molten magma cools, it becomes solid. rocks thus formed are called igneous rock. As you can see, this picture is clearly depicting what a magma looks like. This is one volcanic mountain, and see, this burning liquid is coming out from the mountain, and as soon as it comes on the earth's surface, it becomes solid. Right now it is liquid, but by the passage of the time, in one day or in few 3, 4, 5, 7 hours, it becomes solid and it will convert into rocks like these. As you can see on the left and the right side of this lava or magma, there are a lot of rocks, so they are also formed by this magma only. So when this magma will cool down, they will make igneous rock, and they are also called primary rocks. See, you can see these rocks, they all are also called primary rocks, means main part of rocks, and igneous rocks also. Again, igneous rocks are of two types. One is intrusive rocks and one is extrusive rock. Now let us see what intrusive rocks are and what extrusive rocks are. Igneous extrusive rock, X means out. Okay, X means out. When this molten lava comes on the earth's surface, it rapidly cools down and becomes solids. So rocks formed in such manner are known as extrusive rocks. Easy. When this molten magma, it comes on the earth's surface and cools down, and when it makes such rocks, these rocks are known as extrusive rocks, means out of the earth. Next is example. See, this is the example of extrusive rock, basalt. It has fine grained texture, and it is mostly found in Deccan Plateau of India. You have witnessed that the soil of Maharashtra and Karnataka is black in shape, black in color. It is just because they have been formed by the volcanic eruption. Next is intrusive rock. Sometime what happens, this is molten magma. Ooh, see how dangerous and how beautiful this site is also looking, but at the same time it is equally dangerous. And when these volcanic mountains, they erupt, all the people, they leave their villages and town to go to some safer places. So this picture also has been taken from very far away with the help of a helicopter. You cannot even make your helicopter fly just near this. That's why the picture also has been taken from very far away. So when this magma cools down inside the earth's crust, then this type of rock is known as intrusive rocks. Intrusive rocks means which rocks are formed inside the earth, inside the crust. Okay, and the rocks which are formed outside the earth's surface, on the earth's surface, they are known as extrusive rocks. Very simple. Since they cool down slowly, they form large grains. Grains means the pieces. Grains means small dots and small stone particles in them. They have very large grains. So granite is example of such a rock. This is granite. As you can see, there are large grain. They have very large size of grain, and you can differentiate each and every grain in them. And these are used to make the slab of your kitchen, because when they are polished, they give a very beautiful look, shaded look, you can say, thus giving it the kitchen, adding beauty to your kitchen. So this is granite, which is used to make slab of your kitchen. Next is sedimentary rocks. What they are? Now see, suppose this is some mountain. Why to suppose this is a mountain? Okay, so what happens when rocks roll down, they fall down from it, then what happens? They crack. Crack means they divide into many pieces, and then they hit each other. Suppose one rock is hit with another, then they crack, and then they are broken down into small fragments, and these fragments are known as sediments. Okay, these small pieces of the big rock, when they hit each other, they broke into small pieces, and those small pieces are known as sediments. These sediments are transported and deposited from one place to another with the help of wind and water. Now see how this mountain has been formed. This is a mountain of many rocks deposited at one place. Now no human being has done it. So how this mountain was formed? This was formed with the help of wind and water. When wind blows, what happens? Lot of dust, it goes into the air, and when wind is gone away, then what happens? These all granules of the rocks, they get collected at one place, making a hill or mountain like shape. And thereafter what happened? These loose sediments are compressed and hardened to form layers of rock. Suppose this was the earliest layer which was being moved by the wind over here. Thereafter one more layer of sediments deposited over this layer. Thereafter one more layer. So they are putting pressure on each other. The upper layer is putting pressure on the lower layer. So these layers are known as sediments. What these layers are known as? Sediments. And such rocks are known as sedimentary rocks. So remember, sedimentary rocks will always have the layers in them. An example is sandstone, which is made from grains of sand. Next is metamorphic rocks. Igneous and sedimentary rocks can change into metamorphic rocks under great heat and pressure. With the long passage of time, all these igneous and sedimentary rocks, they convert into 1/3 type of rocks. They are known as metamorphic rocks. For example, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. See, this is piece of marble, and when that marble is polished, it is used to make floor. This is example of marble. Now see, rocks are very useful to us, isn't it? They are used to make roads, they are used to make houses, they are used to make various games like hopscotch, stapu also. You can use rocks for various other purpose also. To lay the railway tracks also, you require the granules of the rocks or the pebbles. Now what the rock cycle is? One type of rock, when it changes to another type under certain condition, that too in cyclic manner. Cyclic means connecting with each other in a cyclic manner, in this circular manner. This process of transformation of the rock from one to another is known as the rock cycle. First rock we talk about, that was magma. Magma, it came out of the volcano. Then when it came on the surface of the earth, it cooled down and it became igneous rock. And when igneous rock, they hit each other, they crashed and they turned into small sediments. And those sediments, when they deposited at one place, and they made many layers, thus those layer rocks are known as sedimentary rocks. And again, sedimentary rocks and igneous rocks, they both, when under great heat and pressure, they converted into metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks, again they burnt with the help of volcanic mountain, then again they became magma. So there is no ending of this cycle. Continuously one cycle is going on. That's why this is known as rock cycle. Rocks and minerals. Rocks are made up of different minerals, as we have earlier talked about it. Minerals, what are they? Naturally occurring substances which have certain physical properties and definite chemical composition. You will read in science subject, right? So these rocks, they are containing minerals in them, and minerals are very important to humankind. Some of the example of minerals are fuels. Fuels means whatever helps to generate energy, like coal. When we burn coal in the factory, it generates lot of power, lot of heat. And next is natural gas. Natural gas is used in all the household. No kitchen, no family can survive without these gas nowadays. And the next is very important for the modern world, that is petroleum. Petroleum is the backbone of the any nation. For the development of any nation, petroleum is far most important. These all fuels are used in industries: iron, aluminium, gold, uranium, etc. In medicine, in fertilizer also. Do you know the deepest mine in the world is in South Africa? It is about 4 kilometers deep. Oh my God. To reach to the center of the earth, which is almost not possible. Nobody can dig this much height, this much deep hole. 6,000 kilometer. Who is who is this much capable enough to dig this much great hole of 6,000 kilometer? So it is almost impossible to go to the core of the earth. And secondly, it is so high temperature over there that we will burn into ashes. Coal will become coal over there. See how deep this earth people have dug. My God, see, just for mining. And now see how many years it is going to take to fill this hole again, and how bad and ugly it is looking on the surface of the earth. So that's why we should always conserve the minerals. We should not waste petrol, we should not waste gas and energy, because when we require them more, when we will waste them more, then more and more minerals will be extracted from the earth's surface, and people will keep digging this much of hole, see, to dig out the more and more minerals, and they will cause a danger to the people's life as well, and to the environment also. Do you know the crust form only 1% of the total volume of the earth? This crust is only 1%, and mantle is 84%. So the largest percentage is of mantle, and 15% is core. And the radius of the earth, radius means distance from here to the center of the earth, that is 6,371 kilometer. Do you know igneous is a Latin word where ignis means fire? And do you know sedimentary is a Latin word again where sedimentum means settling down? Next is metamorphic. This is a Greek word where metamorphose means changing the form. Fossils. Now what are the fossils? The remains of the dead plants and animals trapped in the layers of rocks are called fossils. Suppose this was some crocodile or lizard which has died many years ago, but see, its skeleton has been found recently, and so this skeleton over the period of many years it has changed into fossil. One more example of fossil, you can see the skeleton of some sea animal. This is almost looking like fish, right? So they trapped inside the stones, means what had happened, it might have died and some other stone have come over its dead body, and with the long period of time it has decomposed. The body of this animal decomposed, but the skeleton it could not decompose, and this skeleton is known as fossil. And sometime what happened, these fossils they change into mineral. They became dead, their skeleton they turned into black color and they make the mineral. So coal is also the fossils of the dead animals and dead plants. We wonder where all this coal come from. So this is the answer. Coal comes from the fossils of dead animals and plants. The Red Fort is made up of red sandstone. These sandstone are very commonly found in Rajasthan. See how beautiful this building is looking like, as if somebody has painted it with red paint. But this is not the artificial paint. This is the natural color of the stone. This is red sandstone. Similarly, Taj Mahal is made up of white marbles. Now, so they are looking a bit pale, but when it was made, they were as white as milk. Nowadays, lot of factories around the Taj Mahal have also been shut down or have made them to transfer their location so far away, so that the smoke of the factory should not make the color of Taj Mahal pale. This beautiful building, Taj Mahal, made up of white marbles. Thank you so much, and please do like our channel Wow Education for more informative videos. Thank you so much.